I'm Tracy Baxter with today's Record News Watch. Jury deliberations have reportedly begun in the Orange County Court trial of Corey Bird, the 32-year-old Newburgh man charged with murder, manslaughter, and tampering with evidence for the fatal beating of 4-year-old Mark Bukal, the son of his former girlfriend, back in December of 2009. The child's remains were found inside 2 bags hidden in a vacant lot a few blocks from his home. This morning, Judge Jeffrey Berry refused the request of defense attorney Joseph Brown to throw out charges contained in the indictment against Bird. Closing arguments in the case wrapped up earlier today. Bird faces a possible sentence of 25 years to life in prison if the jury convicts him of murder. Relief and gratitude. Those are 2 of the emotions being felt by members of the Landfield Avenue Synagogue in Monticello, following word that their sacred Torah scroll that was stolen during a break-in at the synagogue has been recovered safe and sound. The Torah, which is valued at $35,000, was discovered in a residence in Woodridge, and its recovery led to the arrest of 41-year-old Christopher Colville, a registered sex offender who was subsequently charged with felony criminal possession of stolen property. Landfield Avenue Rabbi Ben Zion Chanowitz says Colville was someone he was familiar with.
I should say that this is probably one of the first names that came up. The police were working on it from the beginning, but they met some dead ends along the way. Chris Colville used to work in the synagogue as a subcontractor, and he did jobs, so he knew the synagogue well. Chris actually contacted me a few days before the theft, and he contacted me a day later, which I immediately gave over the information to the police. But the police apparently suspected him on his own too. Apparently he found a job working for Dove Freed in Woodridge, and he was apparently staying in the house which belonged to him, and that's where they found him with the Torah intact.
Rabbi Chanowitz said he was touched by the outpouring of community support following word of the theft.
Many people from all walks of life came together. They cared about it. They cared about the loss of the Torah. They cared about what could they do, and how. And every day people would call me, ask me, Rabbi, any news yet? Any news yet? And people would call me from our community, from our congregation, and from outside of the community. I got calls from hundreds of miles away, and I got calls from down the block. People whom I've never seen previously were touched by the loss of the Torah.
Colville is currently being held without bail in Sullivan County Jail. Rabbi Chanowitz says a celebration will be held soon to thank all the police agencies for their work in recovering their sacred scroll. The search is on for 3 men who forced their way through the front door of a town of Wallkill home, then assaulted the occupants and left with an undisclosed amount of cash. It happened shortly before 9 last night at a residence on Bloomingburg Road. Town of Wallkill police say the men, wearing black clothing and ski masks and carrying handguns, pistol whipped the 4 residents. 2 of them were taken to Orange Regional Medical Center for treatment of non-life-threatening injuries. It'll be up to the Ulster County District Attorney's Office to determine if criminal charges should be filed against former Kingston Fire Chief Richard Saltzman, who resigned Monday after an audit uncovered discrepancies in his sick and vacation time pay. Saltzman had been the Kingston Fire Chief for the past 14 years. Kingston Mayor Shane Gallo called the situation a time attendance issue and said the city could seek restitution through a lawsuit if there is no criminal prosecution. It may be full speed ahead now for the construction of a new Tappan Zee Bridge, now that a state environmental study has concluded that no significant environmental obstacles stand in the way. The release of the draft environmental impact statement is a major step forward in a project that would replace the deteriorating span with an 8-lane bridge costing about $4.6 billion. Construction could begin as early as this summer. 9 nearby homes will be acquired to accommodate construction. A number of commuters and elected officials have called for a mass transit component included on the new Tappan Zee Bridge. And in a story involving a much smaller bridge, the Pedestrian Bridge over Brickman Road in South Fallsburg will have to be torn down because of the extensive damage it sustained when it got rammed by a waste hauler's vehicle last Friday. The bridge, owned by the Sitta Foundation, dates back to the days of the old Brickman Hotel. Fallsburg police say the driver, Vincent Davis, was driving the truck with its bed raised when it hit the bridge. Davis was issued several citations, including operating the vehicle without a license. A section of Brickman Road has been closed since the incident. Look for the full story here at Record Online and in an upcoming edition of the Times-Herald Record. More precipitation is headed our way, and once again it will be in the form of rain. Thursday will be cloudy with afternoon drizzle becoming a steadier rain by evening. The highs will be around 40 degrees. Friday will be mostly cloudy with temperatures reaching the mid-40s. Get an edge on the day by picking up tomorrow's edition of the Times-Herald Record. And when news breaks anywhere, you will find it here at Record Online. For Record News Watch, I'm Tracy Baxter.